Last we left off, you guys had made your way. You had kind of wrapped up any business in the area, trying to pick up some extra magical items and whatnot. You all, a few of you encountered your soon-to-be vampire friend. Um, on the road, apparently having gotten lost uh, in time with a companion shortly after being bitten by a vampire. Um, and you told her to her face that you were hunting her. Um, you know,
Hey, don't we us. That was Demir.
um, from there, you picked up the supplies you needed in town. And immediately headed off to the hags. Um, they welcomed you into their home, which looks largely unchanged from the last time you saw it. Um, although it it is worth noting that immortal creatures tend to move slowly when they want to. From there, you were able to confirm that Demir's mother is indeed alive still. She is sleeping under the little canopy of thorny roses that the hag seemed to have created. From there, you began to delicately inquire um, if they're going to take their entire home with them or if they're going to just take the essentials. They seemed to imply that they were going to just grab what they felt was important until it was time for them to return home. That is where we are picking up. What would you like to do?
It's honestly kind of an unfortunate situation considering that Lish was our negotiator.
Yeah. I don't know. Do we think that the doll is an essential that they're going to grab, or do we want to try and
Well, Valk has been slowly working her way around the room to the to lean against the wall basically where
The harpy
the
is going to stop you from leaning against the wall. She hisses at you when you get too close.
okay, then I lean against this wall
Sure.
and Valk kind of just does a what the fuck did I do look at the harpy and then kind of the rest of the party.
I think that doll might be going with them, honestly. Because I don't know if Hawk would know what a voodoo doll is in character, but I definitely recognize it as leverage. Just,
Yeah, but would they need it in their
I mean, they probably
magical
wouldn't,
holiday?
probably not, but they probably wouldn't want to leave it behind.
Also, are we getting Demir's mom before they cast the spell or like as they're
Yeah,
casting a spell?
that would be nice.
What's the what's the mechanics of the hostage trade-off here?
Yeah, Demir is honestly inquiring about that. Just like you'll wake her. Oh, sorry, I just realized that there is a hag right next to Demir. I was about to move her to be with the hag, but she is right next to them. Um, Demir is going to look at the hag and just, you'll wake her up before you are gone.
Joining before our departure is the plan.
Excellent.
We'll even do you the kind favor of wilting the roses.
Thank you.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Max here. HD hag voice is extra because the new microphone is picking up your resonance more on
Yeah,
it.
it's picking up the gravel a lot more clearly.
Hooray for tech upgrades.
I'm no voice actor, but I do what I can do.
Um, I'm just going to assume that Vervain is going to be putting the items, the three items that we have on the table. This is the table, right?
I mean, you're in charge of Vervain at the moment. What would you like to do?
Well, yeah, I'm asking, this is a table, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go and put the items out. Just be like, got it. But
Yeah, as I mentioned last time, the table and chairs have kind of a lot of water damage done to them, but are it's remarkably still standing. And as soon as Vervain places the items on the table, Nerafine comes over and
Excellent. I could smell the power when you arrived in the swamp.
the Phoenix goo is very goopy. I'm not doing a very good job of being Vervain, so I'm just gonna um say uh I'm very bad at being Vervain. Sorry. Uh you wouldn't happen to be open to negotiation for other items, maybe, of interest? We've found a lot of interesting people and places and things while we have been out and about, and seeing as it is nearing the end.
I could be persuaded. What exactly did you have in mind, my lord?
she just, as I said, she's got this big smile and very sharp teeth. This is a very dangerous creature.
Quickly out of character, are we attempting to do this via trading or skullduggery?
Well, out of character, I have some things that I can negotiate for. Options. But
I had Kenzie coach Avery on what to negotiate.
Ah,
but if we want to do skullduggery, we can certainly do that. I am not
well,
a giant.
we know roughly where the doll is. We know they're not bringing everything with. So it's an over under on what's being brought. Well, I suppose we could negotiate for a once around the cabin after they leave.
I do think that perhaps negotiation is the better idea because stealing from a fae, especially a powerful one,
Eh,
sounds like a really bad idea.
we have a more powerful one.
Yeah, power scaling's on our side. We'll be fine. No, like I don't think that's worth it.
We are also in her home, so stealing from her in her home, even if you are the fairy king, there are rules about the way
Yeah,
things.
that's a breach of Fey etiquette. That's serious shit. They'll bring out the lawyers. It's not pretty.
Okay, I'm just
Want
checking
to
in
see Faye
before
cut
we
short?
proceeded. Sorry.
Sorry.
I was just saying I was checking in before we proceeded down any one path to see if that's the path that we wanted to pursue. So if we want to try negotiations, we can start with that.
Yeah. So, Vervain is going to, we have made a meeting with a variety of interesting people. Some that I'm sure would be very interested in such lovely hag patrons as yourselves. Perhaps in exchange for an item of moderate value to you, we could make an introduction happen.
What exactly are you asking for?
Just a trinket, nothing of value to you. Perhaps Vervain's going to kind of like look around a little and just go.
I'm gonna have her roll an insight check. Pull up her stats. No, her stats aren't great at this moment.
Lish cannot lie.
Mm.
Apparently so.
I mean, that's in character, honestly. Maybe Hawk should be like a gesture to me, like, "Go help your husband."
Yeah, Demir is going to make her way over.
You know, after all, you have quite the collection, and I doubt you're bringing them all with you.
Ugly, just a doll, a silly doll.
So she kind of looks at Vervain and now you too, Demir. She just kind of releases a low, like throaty chuckle that kind of makes it think of like the sound of a toad.
You know, you have something specific in mind. Do you even know what it is that you ask for? What it means?
Do I need to?
What did you say?
Do I need to? But I think that was more me. That's not probably something Lish would say. Sorry.
Do we have something specific in mind?
We
You
do,
have
yes.
you
I
have the
know, I'm
specific
being
doll.
sarcastic.
Oh, fair.
Demir is going to speak up and just um so we offer you something that you think is valuable for something we are asking for. What's if you want to name a price?
spent a great deal of time working on this doll that you have in mind. It is quite an investment. So if you were to perhaps offer to me a child that I could spend more time investing in, I would be willing to hear you out.
Vivain is going to say, well, I can't offer you the child directly, but I can make an introduction.
No, I think she's asking for a firstborn.
Uh,
Not necessarily.
Hey,
An
do we want to promise her
introduction
the
is
lesbian's
not-
firstborn?
An introduction is not enough. I need confirmation.
well, to the party, this is out of character. um, so the offer that Kenzie and I talked about was basically brokering a deal between the hags and Boat's dickhead daughter. Octavia was her name? Yeah. Um the boat guy's daughter that we broke out.
Oh, yeah.
So
Great minds, I guess.
I don't see any good coming of that.
They might hit it off.
they might hit it off.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Hmm.
So my thinking is that at least this is my impulse is Lish calls up the girl and the deal brokerage happens. Does that sound like a deal for everyone else? I'm asking because I am playing Lish very poorly.
Well, it does honestly seem like the kind of thing that would be up her alley already. Because she kind of wants to, like, she's kind of, I get the feeling that that's sort of her vibe, if that makes sense. And she definitely wants to spite her father.
Mhm.
I feel like getting close with a hag would give her plenty of opportunity to do as much. That, and I don't think any of us have children that we would be willing to put on the line. Yes,
You could
even
always
Ptarmigan.
just steal one. There's a nice little elf village not too far away from here.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the option of stealing a child, but I was thinking more of dealing with the children that we are aware of who are free agents.
Hey, you're not beholden to anyone. Would you
You're
like
not.
to make a hag deal on our behalf?
Listen, there have been several children that we have encountered that quickly got snatched up by hags. This is a child that has not been.
Yet.
It's a
Hey,
formative experience for
16-year-old, you know
children.
what would be really cool and a way to stick it to your dad?
Exactly. Hey, kid that we broke out of jail.
So we could either
Kid that's been living in basically one room your entire life and being fed raw meat. You know, it'd be really cool.
You know, it'd be a real fun way to stick it to your dad. I mean, we
mean,
did break her out of jail.
it's a better option of that scale than anything that we have otherwise, I think. Because like it's either this or we get nothing or we fight. Because I don't
I mean, Lish
think
has
that she's
more
going to buy
things that you can
goods.
negotiate with.
True.
or we could theoretically try to outsmart the hag and offer something that won't happen, but do the deal in such a way that she can't take something else in exchange.
Are you implying we should trade away the firstborn of someone not planning on having kids?
Basically saying the firstborn of Bulk, directly of her bloodline when it eventually happens, which it won't because,
We should trade away Hawk's firstborn, and then the hags can just walk off with Snowhawk, and it'll be fine.
So
Huh.
I know that we've discussed this in chat before,
I
but
know.
if you think it won't happen, the hags have ways of ensuring that they get what they want.
I do feel better about sacrificing the snow sun than, a child. But the child might be into it. We could always ask.
Well, I mean, if Hawk wants to offer his firstborn, now is the moment to speak.
Yeah, you're the only one here with a child as far as we're aware.
That's true. But also, like, as unattached as he is, he still doesn't know if he would do that.
Also, they want an actual child, not a snowman that came to life.
Racist?
They can do that themselves.
That's racism. Also, we're not saying it's a snowman. We're just saying Hawk is the only one who actually has a child.
I feel like they would know, though.
Would they?
Probably. If they've been following us along our journey like other hags and witches have across our adventure, they would probably know already that Hawk's firstborn is a snowman.
I suppose Bulk would probably say, like, well, the only one with a firstborn here is Hawk. Unless if you got secrets you're not telling us about, Lish.
Fairvane says nothing.
Well, do the hags bite at Hawk having a kid?
Let's see, I believe the one that would respond would be Irona, who is here.
Progenitor of an entire race. We could have our fingers in a lot of pies in the future.
No, we're talking about the impossible child directly from the man that stands before you.
That is not a child, that is a being of snow that was brought to life. That is not a child.
It is an offspring.
That is not what we're asking for.
Hawk looks vaguely hurt.
You didn't even get to know him. You're an absent father. It doesn't count.
Again, you're the only one who actually has a kid.
If you could call it that, true.
The closest thing we have to an offspring that isn't adopted.
I feel like in Hawk's case, for that to be a thing that the hags would bite at, it would have to be another forged that he made himself. Or that he contributed the most greatly to the creation of.
Nerfine chuckles and says,
Well, there is the village of Leodorai nearby if you wish to raid a snatch.
Demeanor like, no. But Lish has the scrying orb. He can scry on Octavia.
See if she's interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
We may as well ask.
A willing child, I'm sure, is worth more than having to break an individual to your will, I would assume.
Depends on how much I'm looking for fun.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that hags are extra fucked up.
I think you'll have quite an interest in this child. Their father is of some importance.
She would also create challenges of a more interesting nature.
Like I said, I had something special in mind, just for you. And Lish will take out the scry orb and do we do a little scry in here? Do we want to do a little scry outside?
Hey kid, I have a potential work study for you. Are you interested?
Basically. Lish will use the scry orb to scry up on Octavia.
Okay, do you do so inside or out in the swamp?
I don't know, guys. I think outside. Should we go outside?
Whichever decision is questionable to begin with. If we want to truly contact her outside of the hag's realm of control, we would have to leave the clearing and whatnot.
Not going that far out, but more just, is it polite to have a call inside the house or outside the house?
We could ask the hag, shall we do this here or do I need to do this outside? What are the etiquettes for scrying from within a hag's house?
It is not. I will be able to see either way.
Yeah, I figured that.
Well, may as well inside. Avoid getting rained on. Either way, she'll see it. Sure. Let's do it inside.
Hold on, we should get a confirmation that she will not enact a deal without our presence and circumvent the deal that we are currently making.
Oh, yeah. Same. Good thought.
You know, just common courtesy. Would the hag agree to that common courtesy?
Yeah, Lish will.
You see that I am intrigued, but I am content to merely observe at the moment.
No, we need a confirmation that she won't engage in attempting to make a deal with the kid without us present, or attempt to snag her without us present, or whatever.
How do you expect to approach that once my sisters and I have departed? Are you planning on joining us?
No, I'm more trying to keep you from circumventing this deal being made.
You will not meet the child during the scry.
The music peaked right as you were being creepy, and I couldn't hear what you said.
She said she won't make a deal while Vervain scries.
That still feels like cagey wording to make it so she can do it without our aid.
I mean, do we need to aid her with that though?
Yeah.
No, I'm basically trying to protect the kid from being preyed upon at a later date too. But
I don't
with
think we can
only
ensure that.
now.
I don't think we can ensure that.
We can ensure that the specific deal we are currently trying to make does not get hijacked. We cannot protect this random child from hag intervention.
No. We are putting her on the hags radar no matter what. So, yeah.
I was just trying to have some modicum of protection for this kid.
It's totally fair.
Since we're putting her on the hag's radar, we should be present for whatever initial deal is conducted between the two parties. So any subsequent deals she makes, she can make on her own, but we would also need to be present for any initial deal that could happen if this deal falls off.
So you wish for her to teleport you to wherever, so that when she meets this child, you can be present.
Well, you would want the child here before you cast the spell, no?
Right now, we're doing a scry to see if the child is interested. How the way this is going to work is if she is interested, the hags have means of contact. Do you want to be teleported away from the final battle with Ider in order for this conversation to take place between the hags and Octavia? So that you can be present.
Obviously not. I'm just trying to think of a way to protect the kid.
Handing her
doesn't
over
involve
to
that.
a
I
hag.
don't think that I mean, the hag gave us her word she's not interfering in the moment. For the future, I'm not particularly fucked. But
Bulk doesn't have a whole lot of intelligence to do this with, but she's wanting to not basically 100% sacrifice the kid to this hag. Does anybody have a good way of phrasing it so it basically keeps the hag from initiating any other deals with this kid without us? Whatever.
It's not a good situation. There's really not a way to handle it in the way you'd like.
I know. I'm just trying. It's what Falk would do. She would try with her one brain cell.
So, Vervain, you set up the scry.
yeah.
Right. What's the DC?
Oh, it is 17 because it's the same. It's just the item.
Okay, cool.
Unless Vervain adds 2 item saves, but I don't think he does.
Okay. So Vervain's he takes a moment to set up the scry ritual and peers into the crystal ball. And the moment you can see the same teenager that you saw before, 16, maybe a little too skinny. Her clothes aren't as fine as they were previously. They seem to be more nondescript, though her skin is still the pale white of pure snow and very red lips. into long, dark hair that you recall from last time trailed perhaps half a foot past her ankles, has now been kind of tied up into an elaborate braid. Uh, it is dark wherever she is, and there seem to be crates near her.
But she doesn't seem to be in her dad's home anymore.
No.
Excellent.
Well, at least she isn't actively eating another person when we call her.
When we called her.
Oh god. Vervain is probably going to just Octavia. It's good.
Isn't little fly on the wall? It has been quite a while since I've heard from you.
It has been a while. You're looking well enough.
Well enough.
Enjoying your freedom, running around.
I find myself on a boat at the moment.
On a boat. How
Yes.
exciting.
I am traveling, I am seeing the world, seeking others like myself.
Well, I have an exciting proposition for you.
I was gonna go so badly.
I should not be negotiating. Sorry.
Like, hey, bud, we've come across a work study opportunity that, kind of feels like something you would be interested in.
You're looking for others like yourself. Have I got an opportunity to introduce you to some fascinating people?
Are they void touched?
Void touched? I can't say for sure. I mean, does Lish Vervain know what that means? No? Okay. Well, I can't say for sure. You would have to ask them yourself, but I am happy to make that introduction and to figure out a way for you and and your new friends to have a very productive, interesting time.
Who are they?
There's some friends of mine, very old friends of mine. They are a coven of hags.
Beings of power willing to teach you powers yourself.
Very powerful.
And what exactly would they wish for me?
Why? To learn, to study, to grow. Any guardian would want of a child.
Roll a persuasion check with advantage.
Rolled a 3 and a 1.
Oh no.
I will also say that the powers that they offer would make finding other void touched easier.
Yeah.
We'll have another opportunity.
Yeah, I
But
try.
she seems very doubtful when you start to mention that they're hags.
Mm.
Oh, you can say as a fae yourself, you can uh aid her in procuring a as beneficial as possible deal.
I mean, the hags specifically said that like just introductions wasn't enough, so I'm trying to think of like sorry.
Assist in getting what you want out of a deal.
These hags are very well traveled and well known, and uh not only can they help you find more void touch like yours, I do have to say it would really upset your father.
Oh, and also you could play the world's falling apart and they're building a place, so if we fail, it gives you the ability to live out your life still.
Of course, I would love to spend a lot of time deciding how to best make this arrangement work between you and my friends here, but unfortunately, in case you haven't noticed, things are coming a little unglued at the edges. As you've been traveling around, I'm sure you've taken note.
You're a smart girl.
You are a very smart girl.
What exactly are you getting out of this introduction?
Oh, merely a trinket or two. We
To
thought,
help with putting the world right.
yes, exactly, a trinket or two helping to put the world right. But really, I thought of you when I met these hags, and I thought this was a great opportunity for you. I am always looking to help those in need. And I figured an opportunity to gain the study and knowledge and power that comes with working with hags is a very rare opportunity. And a girl like you deserved it.
Are they seeking to make a pact?
Certainly.
Another persuasion check with advantage.
We'll use different dice this time. Wow. Okay. So one of them was number one. But the other one was a thank God for that. Advantage. That is a 27. Or I'm sorry, 28.
Octavia kind of closes her just pure black eyes and for a moment, and she's clearly thinking and absorbing the information.
I am skeptical of acts, and I believe I have the right to be cautious. But if this will assist you, I am willing to do it.
Excellent. Very smart of you.
And it's much appreciated.
Very appreciated. And
Fuck
it
you
is,
off, little child.
yep, very appreciated. Um,
I assume
Excellent.
you
Will
will
be
reach out to me.
Yes, we will be in touch very shortly.
She still looks like very skeptical and almost kind of nervous, but
Don't be nervous.
willing to go through with it for the people that helped her escape.
Vivian's just going to, just like right before signing off, just like, don't be nervous. I think this will be very good for both parties. For all parties. And then I'll drop the scry.
Okay.
And Vervain is going to turn to the hag and just like, I think we have a bargain.
I noticed. I shall reach out to her to negotiate the terms once our business here is concluded.
Excellent. The doll then.
She looks towards Gyrona, who releases the cauldron and starts to make her way over this way. And the harpy kind of squawks and flutters over this way to get out of the way. You can see Gyrona grab a large, like, kind of scrawling tapestry of looks like it's made of vellum, and the text on it is just inscrutable. She grabs it and yanks it off and throws it to the floor, and just walks through the wall here. Let me do the thing. And she she grabs what she needs to grab. The wall illusion is still very much in place. And she steps out with the exact doll from Tobias's vision and walks it over to Nerfine. You can see that the doll itself looks old, worn, but it has the a little like tuft of real hair sewn into her head, and the little pointed ears of an elf.
I know Tobias, or sorry, I'm fumbling my words. I know, I believe we had asked the question of if Tobias recognized the elf when he first saw the doll. Since we've now done the gone on the grand quest of getting the different ingredients and things like that, does he now recognize who that doll is of, or is it still just unknown to him?
Still unknown.
Cool. That's great. Fucking I locked the fuck back in when you brought up the doll.
Mira's going to look at Toby to just be like, is that it? Like trying to confirm.
It was Demir that had
Yeah, she just
Looked
looked over at Toby to be like, yes.
Tobias will give a very subtle nod. So yes, that one.
And Vervain, just perfect. That one exact.
And thus a deal, one doll for one willing trainee.
On to our other business.
And she hands the doll, like, kind of holding its head between her two very long fingers and passes it to Vervain, and then reaches over and sweeps up the items that you guys retrieved and placed on the table. And Gyrona is gonna go back over here. And Rangvi is gonna move this way. Nerfine is gonna go here. Surrounding this kind of overgrown well with like pond scum in it. Is there anything anyone else would like to do at the moment?
I mean, Demir is just gonna be like, my mom!
Mother.
You said you would release her. We have given you the items.
Considered release before our departure. We have not departed yet, have we? But fear not, I have not forgotten her, and I am not one to skimp out on deals.
Probably Vervain ends up pulling Demir back and just being like, shh, shh. Let them cook.
Would you guys like to stay inside the hag's hut for the ritual, or do you want to go outside?
We won't get teleported as well if we stay inside, will we?
What an interesting question.
I don't think it's a good idea to
I don't
find
know.
out.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
See, I feel like Lish would want to watch because I feel like that is in character for him, but
I'm just always paranoid when it comes to the Fae.
You should be.
One, because it's the Fae, and two, Lish has conditioned us well at this point.
True.
I mean, are we allowed to watch? Vervain will probably just
Ask.
yeah, ask more or less like, would you prefer we vacate the premises, or are we allowed to witness the spell? We went to quite a bit of trouble to get the ingredients. I'm fairly curious.
Without being brought along.
You may.
As long as we will be left behind.
With that, the hags each start to put some various items just into the well. Like there's weird, just like a bunch of fucking weird shit. Meanwhile, they're chanting in a language that is unknown to all of you. And as they're pouring these things in, the well begins to glow, just these fascinating colors. Um, like there's a weird kind of sickly green, and then there's like an this is gonna sound gross, an almost vomit yellow and like a weird blood red as they're chanting and pouring these things in.
What, no color from outer space?
And
Jinx it.
and while they're chanting, like the light is casting just strange shadows all around the inside of the tree, aided in part by the various clutter that is brought in. And you can see the hag or the harpy, I mean, just kind of start to edge her way forward, apparently just fascinated by what she's seeing here. Um,
And then she goes in the pot. Sorry, shutting out.
and uh, the hags towards the end start to add in the materials that you brought. They first put in the feather from the undead phoenix in, which turns the room just a strange kind of weird shadowy purple, and the room starts to feel very uncomfortably hot. Next, uh, puts in the dragon fang. Uh, and the room just starts to glow like a weird sort of bright white. It's kind of almost painful. But the room itself starts to feel cold, very much in opposition to the warmth you felt before. And finally, they place in the hair from the witch queen, which turns the room red, then orange, then green. And it's and before the light fades, and you can see that this swirling mixture is within the well. And let's see who's going to go first. I believe that would be Gyrona. Gyrona is going to, with the cauldron, take it, step up to the well, and just step inside and vanish with the cauldron. And then Rongdi goes next. She, same way, she steps up and then just vanishes. Nerafine looks at you all with that weird smiling grin and grabs the harpy by the throat with one hand, and with the other just flicks her wrist in the more or less direction of where your mother is, Demir, and says,
It's been an absolute pleasure. Do visit us again sometime.
And she's still holding onto the harpy's neck. She moves up to the well, steps inside, and the light fades.
Well, not the worst thing I've seen, but certainly not the best.
Wasn't too bad, all in all.
Shall we check on your mom?
Yep, Demir is already making her way that way.
You can hear your mother, at the moment Princess enough, um, just kind of making the sleepy morning sounds.
Demir is going to poke her head in.
You peek in and you can see a very regal figure of about your own age. Um, Long, curly, dark hair, very fine jewelry. Starting to sit up, and as you enter, she stares at you. And like she's just baffled, doesn't know what to do.
Are you all right?
She speaks in Marhabi. Who are you? Where is Fahim?
Oh, ah.
Where am
Demir
I?
is, probably in Marhaba? Are you
Where am I?
not in Marhaba? Obviously.
Obviously. How did I get here? Who are you?
You can call me Demir.
Who are you? Oh, what is
Get
going
what I
on? And you can, I'll tell you what, roll an insight check.
Probably about right. Oh wait, hold on. All right, just about right. That's a 13.
13. You can see that she is very scared. She is acting mad because she is afraid. She doesn't know where she is. She's in a strange bed in a strange land, and this person just came in here, and her twin brother's nowhere to be seen. She has no idea what's going on.
Yeah. And Demir's probably not being the most helpful. But Demir will go over to the bed and just you're in Saya, I think. In the home of, well, former home of a coven of hags. Don't know how exactly you got here, but
We have to get out of here. Then it is dangerous. I do not know much about hags, but were you sent to help, to assist me in returning home?
yes. And like I said, the hags are gone. We're here to get you home.
Thank the gods. Well, we must get back home as soon as possible. We can't
I
stay here.
agreed.
Um,
Mir will offer her hand.
Yeah, she will take your hand and stand next to you, about the same height. And it's at this point E3 steps in and says, "Hello, I'm here to assist in getting you back home as well. There is no need to yell. We are not associated with your captors." And she looks very, she looks relieved, but still very nervous.
My brother here is a wizard. He is able to teleport. He can get you back home.
I will get you back home very safely. I I brought along some pattern dancers. We will need to get to them first. I did not wish to take them into the belly of the beast, so to speak. And you can see Zainab is just kind of like looking around the room, just like trying not to let her disgust show. Like the hags aren't very cleanly. Um
Yeah, it's there's in here.
but Eitri will guide you but guys back out into the main room. Um and Zainab is just kind of looking at each one of you like just baffled at what she sees. Like, I'm here in this hag's house. I just woke up. I don't know where I am. And then now there's a bunch of like fucking weirdos here. But they're saying they're gonna get me back home, so I guess I'll trust them.
What, you don't want the best of the best getting your ass out of a hag's uh home?
She doesn't know who you are. She doesn't know you're
Yeah.
the best of the best, quote unquote, as you say. Um,
Bulk's being confident for once in her life when getting a weird look. Don't ruin it for her.
Let Volk have this.
like she's just scared, and she's trying to act confident.
Well, we know where she gets it from now, or a certain someone gets it from.
Hmm. Demir is going to kind of lead the way out the door. Um or at least like, lead the way through the house. Uh kind
She's
of just
she's gonna follow you closely because you were the first one she saw when she woke up.
And Maharbin.
Yeah.
um I'm just Demir's going to like glance over at each tree like we need to be outside, I assume. Yeah.
Not necessarily, but I suppose the little fresh air as much as we can have will do.
Wait, we're not taking the tree taxi back to the house?
It would probably be easier if I just took
Oh,
this.
yeah. Is it going to Well, that is interesting. Is um you think this place is probably warded for that sort of thing?
And aren't you going to need the teleport spell to get back to Marhaba?
I have the teleport spell.
Multiple times per day?
At this point, yes.
Oh, okay.
Do not
Wasn't it
trust
earlier
me?
that he could only cast it once per day?
Yeah, but then you guys leveled up.
Okay. So I'm not being crazy.
He's gotten more powerful.
Baby bro is more powerful.
Hell yeah.
Demir's breakdown at 5.
He now has access to level 8 spells. So he can just upcast teleport.
Does that get you better chances at arriving where you want to be, or is it still a...
You don't know.
Okay. Let the wizard do his thing without being bothered by the person who doesn't know shit.
um Itri will kind of close to the door turn to address you all. Well, I will say it has been rather fascinating traveling with you the past couple of weeks, I suppose. Um, I will get her back safely. Uh, and afterwards, should you require my assistance in fixing the state of things, uh, you know how to find me, I suppose, and I could get us back.
Assumed I would see you at the turning spire.
If you need my assistance there, I will be glad to help. I'm sure that once kind of like looks over at Zainab, who doesn't he doesn't seem to know how to address her at the moment. um
Honestly,
uh
Mir
oh
kind of looks the same every time she looks over at Zinab. Just
yeah,
kind of that hesitancy to be like, what do I call her?
Get the
it
princess saddled.
yeah, and for the rest of you, you can really see the family resemblance. It's kind of uncanny.
Well, not to be racist, but these are the like what 3 of the 5 or 6 Marhaban people Balk has ever seen since all her life has been spent further north.
Call that racist though, right? Like
And
if you
Not
literally have a small if you literally have a small sample size.
And if
Balk's
literally
just like
most of the sample size is family members who are related to
Yeah.
one another, of
Balk's
course they're
just
going to
like
look similar because they're related to one another.
Balk's just like, that's just what Mohammed people look like.
Oh god.
Oh, so Valk actually is racist.
Well, she doesn't know.
She'll have an enlightenment eventually, don't worry.
Yeah. And it's not like she says it out loud. It's just my brain instantly went to that's where Balk's brain would be at.
In the epilogue, Vok gets invited to a party at the in Marhaba by Itri, and she's just like, "Holy shit!"
wait a minute, you're not all beautiful people?
Also, the sample size is also extra fucked since one of them is only half Marhaban. Because isn't Aaron's girlfriend a half elf?
Yeah, she's a half elf, but that doesn't mean she's half Marhaba. There are elves in Marhaba.
Fair enough.
Racist.
Fantasy lore fact: elves also have melanin, contrary to popular belief.
Fun fact, elves can be black.
I wasn't. So she isn't. So
How about
whatever
we just move
variance.
on from this topic
Yeah.
before someone digs themselves into a hole?
Yeah, fair.
This is a recorded session. I would like to
Yeah.
remind. This is going on the internet. I would like to remind.
True.
Anyway,
Anyway,
E3 says that if you require his assistance any further, when you finally go to the turning spire, he will be at the ready.
And Demir will look over at Zinab and just look. You'll do great.
I appreciate all of you, your assistance. Should you ever find yourselves in Marhaba, I will see to it that you are rewarded handsomely.
I suppose we'll see if our paths take us there.
Until then, and she gives a very formal bow to each one of you.
Demir will return bow.
You were kind of quiet.
Sorry. She returns the bow.
Tobias
do.
will also return the bow.
Valk gives as formal of a bow as she can.
Is there anything you wished to ask her or do before she is whisked away by Itri?
Hawk has messed with his own timeline enough. He doesn't need to start meddling with Demir's.
No, meddle away, please.
Here's something to think about while you're dealing with being a kid. You just got saved by your own children. Haha, bye.
Hey, by the way, if you ever have a daughter, you should like throw her to the wolves or something. It'd be funny.
If you ever have a daughter, you should name her something awful like, I don't know, Demir.
I mean, technically speaking, we could tell her name to name Demir anything and you wouldn't know because we don't know Demir's real name.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Demir's
Maybe
real
you
name.
should name your daughter after the person who saved you. Yes, make it circle.
God.
Name your daughter something stupid. We'll never find out.
All right.
Yeah, just you'll have 2 daughters when you grow up. Just make sure that the second one's name is fucked up, like the most fucked up name imaginable.
Make a fucked up child. Got it.
She's just like she's like in labor in the room, and then suddenly the Oblivion character creator screen pops up.
Sliders all the same direction.
So, with that, we'll say Itri leads the princess out through the garden and past the wards before the two of them disappear.
Oh, wait, shit. There was the one thing that Demir would have done before her mom got teleported off, because my brain is broken and Kenzie's not here, is she would have introduced specifically Vervain as her husband specifically, but I figured that there was an introduction that went around, so.
Sure.
Sorry.
Yeah, all right.
Briefly. I mean, we're the Wild Roses, probably. And Demir would specifically point out Lish as her husband. But that's all.
Either that, or you could have introduced Lish as one of her saviors, so you could have downstreamed your eventual, yeah, this is my husband.
I think this does it enough, honestly. It's like she's gonna see Demir again and Fish would be like, wait a minute.
You're assuming there will be a seeing her again.
That is true, actually.
In her future, yes.
True.
And if she doesn't see you again, you ain't getting born, and then we have a looper situation. So,
speaking of, once the princess and Itri are gone, Hawk sort of like playfully elbow nudges Demir and says, "So, how was that reward when you were born?" I'm sure she showered you in gold pieces or platinum, perhaps.
Well, considering I was born during a famine, probably.
Well, that's new information.
oh, that probably explains why she was a bit of a bitch to you.
Last time it snowed in Marhaba.
Well, I suppose. Oh,
On top of that, it was shortly after the previous king died. So,
wait a second. You were born
Wait.
when it was snowing in Marhaba, and Balk just pivots to look at Vervain.
Vervain is just looking.
An omen if I've ever heard one. Just like, no wonder she's so cranky all the time. They say you're not you when you're hungry. That bad joke aside.
I can't believe Hawk is dead.
Reduced to scrap on the spot.
Reduced to atoms.
So, Vervain, do you keep the doll or do you give it to Tobias?
Oh, probably gives to Tobias.
Tobias, you now have the doll.
Cool. Guess the easiest way to destroy it would be to like burn it, right?
Yeah,
To you.
Oh, he has to destroy it, huh?
Yeah.
You could ask the hag the best way to destroy it since you have it.
Would she actually reach out to him?
Wait a second, this is the hag that I've met. I can just fire off a sending to the hag and be like, hey, Tobias has acquired the doll and is wondering the best way to dispose of it per your request.
It's true,
Dispose
actually.
of
Sure,
it
if you
in-
want.
Dispose of it in any way you see fit. Should not be difficult in the slightest.
Well, I
Well,
gotta
okay.
respond. Or did she say that to me or Toby or?
You're the one who's
assume
sending
you
to-
sent the message.
Yeah. Okay.
Sent it to you.
She very quickly she responded with it should be easy to destroy, so a fire should work.
Cool. There's a fire pit still burning in the hag hut, right?
Oh, there's a little fireplace right there.
I would maybe burn it outside of the hag hut in case if they could reconstitute it somehow.
Yeah. Okay. Tobias is gonna go outside to build a little fire pit. A little. How far are the wards around the hag's hut? Like, they have to
Basically,
walk
this
super far away?
entire map is warded.
Okay. Tobias will probably want to walk like just outside the wards, build a little fire pit, and burn the doll in that, so that way, it's not on the hag's area at all.
All right. It takes you a few minutes to find some sufficient logs that aren't too damp. But you build the small little campfire, toss the doll in, I assume?
Yep, Tobias will toss it all in, and then he will watch it burn to make sure it's like destroyed. As it's probably burning, he might, take a stick and push it, turn it or whatever, try to like separate parts as it's burning just to ensure that it's like fully destroyed.
You toss the doll in and it lights up very quickly. And somewhere in the distant back of your mind, you can hear the scream of a young girl as the doll burns up and is reduced to cinders.
Less complete. Oh god.
Tobias kind of watches the doll burn and then just kind of goes, all right.
The party just sitting
And-
around silently watching this doll burn in the middle of a creepy woods.
And once the doll is completely burned, you can hear your hag friend speak in your mind again, Tobias.
Well done. I suppose that concludes our business. Ideally, the child herself would have been rescued, but perhaps the hags will eat her, or not eat her in their new plane. now that she's reverted back to her former form. Nevertheless, I can't say you haven't fulfilled your end of the bargain. So, until next time.
Tobias, I guess I want to say he's just appears impassive, where he's just like, all right, I did the thing that I need to do. That's all I really care about. Just seems indifferent to the potential side effects or consequences of burning the doll.
Is there
He'll
anything?
turn to the rest of the party and say, the deed is done. The favor has been paid for.
Well, who else wants to get out or away from the creepy woods?
Hawk raises his hand.
Oh, you don't want to loot?
You specifically told us not to steal stuff from the hag.
I mean, they abandoned it now.
Is it actually abandoned though? They might say it's abandoned, but they might actually have intent on coming back.
Hmm.
And they specifically said they'd come back.
They did, yeah.
True.
So this could just be a ploy to fuck us
I was
over.
just throwing it out there.
I do feel as if being a little bit nosy and just doing a little bit of snooping is what Lish would do, but I don't know if necessarily looting is what. That's stealing.
Yeah,
True.
you can snoop if you like.
Yeah, do a little snooping.
Roll an investigation check.
Oh, is this Lish investigating? I guess it is. Just roll in D&D Beyond. That's a 14 from Lish.
14? Okay. Where exactly are you snooping?
I don't know. I feel like he was interested in the plant room, right?
Yeah.
He'll go snooping through the plants.
The devil that was there before, it seems to have been murdered.
Fair enough.
It looks largely unchanged from the last time you were in here. Pull up a proper description.
Don't tell me the devil looks like it burned up.
No.
Okay.
In fact, it looks like he was stabbed many, many, many times. And maybe a little bloodletted.
Ingredients.
But third room is the botanist lab. There are various stains all over the floor, some old, some new, but glaringly obvious against the wood. On one side of the room, there are at least 4 lily spiders in a round cage, all kind of scuttling over one another. There's a pile of bones in the corner behind some dangerous looking flowers with black petals and purple thorns. Across from the flowers, there are roses growing that look almost too vivid with the redness. Around the room, growing on the floor, there are strange mushrooms. Some seem to be natural, but others are like weird fucking colors. And the cluster near the spider cage is glowing. The as I said, the devil is dead.
I mean, can Lish like take clippings? Or would that be like he would know the rules about being in someone's house? when they're not present. Would that count as taking?
I'll tell you what, have Lish roll an Arcana check for this specific situation.
Okay. That is a 24.
4. So Lish would say that probably a handful of the things here are up for grabs. The hags left with the things that mattered to them. Um, but he could take clippings of the vampire roses right here, but not the gloom flowers here, because these will attack.
Fair enough. Lish will collect clippings from plants that he can.
All right, the vampire roses.
Vampire roses.
But we don't want to have Volk lose a fight against a bush again.
I mean, you certainly could if you wanted to, Volk.
I imagine Volk isn't inside the house.
And Demir might do a little looky-loo around to see if there's anything. Are there any there are bookshelves somewhere, right?
Oh yeah, there's the nice little library over here in this room.
Yeah, Demir is gonna go and check out the library and see if there's anything that she can bring home to her
All right.
wife.
So there's lots of floating candles in this room that are kind of casting a dim, flickering light. Um, you can see the space where the cauldron had been. The fire has burned out at this point. And on one side of the room, there are jars with all sorts of ingredients with an assortment of herbalism, poisoners, and alchemist tools. And on the other, there are large ebony bookshelves that kind of stretch to the ceiling. Some of the books have titles, but most are bound in jet black fabric that have no titles on their spines. And close to them, there is a black quill pen that's resting on a writing desk next to a jar of black ink. Um, let's see. So some of the ingredients include a giant severed toe, still beating heart of an unknown humanoid, rust-tinted water. There's a jar of butterfly wings. There's a eyeball in a jar of yellow ooze that it is like moving around and following you as you move around the room. There's a half full jar labeled Eye of Newt. There's
Mustard.
There's some dried bat wing, dried lavender, various clumps of hair from unknown humanoids. There's a little jar of several bloody arrowheads. There's cat hair and cat whiskers. There's a jar of blood simply labeled drow and various magic mushrooms. Um, there's of the books that do have titles along the spines, you can see one called The Duchess of Retribution. There's one called The Kingdom of Ghouls, The Nasira of the Nine, Thingazard's Night Balloon, Lore of LaRue, The Alchemical Genius of Lady Boritsi, The Shadow Dark, A Theory, and The Bard and the Beholder.
I mean, if the books have been left behind.
All right. So do you want all of them then?
I will say I have at least some minor qualms about bringing hag alchemy books into the same building as Sniv.
Niv.
Oh,
Not all of them
yeah.
are alchemy books. Actually, most of them aren't. But as you start pulling books from the
That
shelves,
Sniv doesn't get them.
as you start pulling books from the shelves, a little scrap of paper flutters out from between a couple of them.
Ooh, what's that?
You pick it up, and it's just a little. It looks like a handwritten note. It says 8 cats perch atop, 8 dead attending, 8 lizards flee from 8 rats scavenging, 8 toads climbing and meet 8 dead and falling, 8 snakes sneak under bats, 8 bats screaming, 8 eyes open, always dreaming, all in the cauldron that is ever seeming.
Hag poetry.
But I
Cool.
can post the list of the books to the chat if you like for you to comb through, because some of them are kind of interesting.
The Bard and the Beholder, I think Demir is going to probably use for some reading. She's interested in that one.
Telling the tale of a bard who fell into a beholder's lair in the Underdark by mistake and had to outwit it in order to escape.
Hmm. Oh, fun.
Anything else anyone wanted to look at?
I know you're implying that it's safe to loot, but like
Did the hags take all the little dolls?
They took a couple.
No.
They also took some ingredients, but not all of them. They also took some various and sundry other weird shit that was around.
Hmm. I think I've looted what I was interested in. Unless someone wants to free the animals, the critters. Oh, actually, so as we're like looking around the hag's house, is there a lot of like obvious like ritual areas or anything like that? Demir might just kind of make sure that whatever is there can't necessarily be reproduced by someone stumbling upon it. Just in case.
There's the room that you're in that looks like it's is very magical. There's a fun little altar over outside with some bones on it, which is fun and safe and healthy. There's the no one's looked in the hag's like bed space yet, or in the little room that she's keeping the doll in.
I mean, I don't know, for the sake of thoroughness, does anyone want to check, or are we just GTFO?
well, at this point, it should probably get checked, but Balk sure as hell ain't doing it.
Okay, Demir will check it out.
Check which one out.
She'll check the little side room and then the bedrooms.
All right. This room, this is a little secret alcove. You find a great deal of gold, a couple pieces of lapis lazuli, uh, tiger's eye gem. There's a little golden locket with a portrait of a hex blood inside that looks very old. There's a box of turquoise carved animals. There's a broom, a some sort of ceremonial dagger with a black pearl on the pommel. Um, some they look like rock climbing gloves actually. Um, a cloak and a little bag of dust.
I am guessing that all of these things are magical.
Most of them are. The golden gems aren't. The broom is magical. The dagger is not magical. The gloves are, the cloak is, and the dust is magical.
Well, they took what was important to them, so I'm going to assume that these items were not important to them. Demir might gather up. Loot.
Okay. Do you wish to identify the items?
Not here.
Okay.
But I will do that once we are back in not hag territory.
Cool.
So I will check out the bedroom.
All right. So the bedroom. I'll just scroll down to it. Somewhat clover shaped but it contains the space where the hags slept. Nerfine's bed is the largest, of course, given that she was the largest hag. There's a simple wardrobe. Most of the clothes inside would not fit her in her natural shape. There's a small vest or nest for Vinora, the harpy. Uh, there are also various marionettes that hang from the ceiling. Do you touch them at all?
No.
Okay, cool. Um, there's also an hourglass that's kind of hanging among the puppets, but in place of sand, there's like tiny teeth of all kind of shapes and kind that flow between the two bulbs, each one glowing with a faint red light. And the flow of the device kind of switches directions at random times for no visible reason, with no bulb ever holding all the teeth. Um, there is a small wicker basket that contains various new children's toys. And then there's a small treasure chest.
Oh boy.
Um, would you like to linger, or would you like to look at the other hag spaces?
I mean, the chest is so tempting, but I'm going to peek through the other hags rooms. And apparently Vervain also wanted to go poking through the bone pile outside.
Sure. We'll get to the bone pile. But you move over to Gyrona's space, which is over here. It seems to just be a heap of old, somewhat musty furs. And kind of sticking out from a couple of these furs and pelts, there is a journal.
Oh. Is it the Hags journal? Can I look through it just briefly?
Sure. You open it and find that it's written in Sylvan. That starts out pretty normally of a family of three living in the Feywild until the daughter is betrayed by her father and given to the Unseelie in a bargain. And she, for a little while, starts writing about being traded to various Unseelie and having to work as a servant. And it's implied that she suffered some amount of abuse. But she is describing a commitment to do whatever she can do to survive and trying to see what sort of deals she can make in order to ensure her continued existence before the rest of the pages turn blank about halfway through.
Well, that made me sad. Okay. And what is in the last hag's room?
The last hag space, Rangdi's bed space has an old empty bed frame with several moldy pillows piled in it. There's a small stack of books next to it, most of which are too moldy or water damaged to be read, and it's clear that they're just being used as a nightstand, along with what seems to be a ledger of some sort.
Ledger? Like of ingredients? Or
Not ingredients. Would you like to look at it?
yeah, sure.
So kind of flipping through the pages of the ledger, there are many almost hyper realistic drawings that do not have names on them. They do have notations. There's a drawing of a centaur woman with kind of sadness in her eyes that says, and with the notation, a desire to be reunited with her childhood horse. And the next page, a man looking like he's caught in a fierce wind, holding desperately onto a tree with the notion, a desire to experience flight. Then there's the picture of the scarecrow that's actually out in the garden that you guys had seen before, with a notation, a desire to spend more time in nature. And there's a picture of a wailing baby with a notation, a desire for restored youth. And there's a picture of a gold coin with a half-orc's face imprinted on it, with it looks like his hands are kind of pressed to a window, with a notation, a desire for gold. There's a miserable-looking ogre with a ragged remains of gnome-sized clothing around him, with the notation, a desire for height. There's a man bleeding out on the ground with his throat torn open by a vampire woman standing over him with the notation, a desire for a deceased loved one to return. And things of that ilk.
Oh boy.
So, do we need to be casting Remove Curse on the Scarecrow?
Possibly.
Paul's
Demir is
moving
going.
castle?
Yeah, Demir is going to take the ledger and just kind of tuck that into her bag and go over to Valkyria, just like stick her head out to where Valkyria is and just Volk, would you do me a favor and hit a remove curse on the scarecrow out there? Just curious.
Bulk very much does the what the fuck hand gesture, and it's just like, okay. And where is Scarecrow? Eyes,
Carrying
work.
the crows, obviously.
There he is. I walk up and where
It's
am I?
very muddy, so your boots are kind of like every time you take a step.
What's the light level in the grove? Is it dim light because it's creepy and spooky, just like the
It
hags
is
like?
dark.
It is dark?
Hmm.
Oh, even better. I just fly over to it then using my Steps of the Night clerical abilities. So like I get 1 foot into a and I'm like, fuck this and fly over.
You can see that the scarecrow kind of turns to you as you approach.
Well, I cast Remove Curse.
No effect.
Lovely. I yell back at Demir. No effect.
That's unfortunate.
Still just
Is
kind
this
of
a
turns
person?
towards you.
Might have been.
Volk just looks over at the scarecrow and it's just like, and it's looking at me, right? And turned to look at me, right?
Oh, yes. It has no facial features.
Turn left if you want me to try to heal you. Turn right if you want to be removed from this misery.
It's just looking right at you.
What? It can turn left and right, but it's not answering me?
It might not be sapient. Could just be a cursed ass scarecrow.
I give the scarecrow like a poke in the chest.
It recoils slightly.
Lish, do you want to try a greater restoration on this thing?
Well, first, what did he find in the bone pile? And then he'll make his way over for
This bone pile or the bone pile in the garden?
He said the bone pile in the garden. So I assume that is the one that Kenzie was one outside.
The one outside. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of gross. There's just some bones, blood, some viscera.
Any fun
Um,
monster bodies, corpses?
Not really. Most of them seem to be humanoid or animal.
Darn. All right. Sure. Let's pop a greater restoration on the scarecrow.
Do a greater restoration, no effect. But it did kind of look at Vervain as he approached.
Yeah. It can obviously turn, but when I asked it to turn left or right of its own volition, it couldn't because I asked it a question. Well, it might not be able to hear. Hey, Aaron, do you want to give it some ears?
Um. Oh God. I can try. Yeah, a mouth might also be helpful.
Just give it a face, I guess, at this point.
Oh, I hate doing this. He's gonna get out his pants. I'll just say, hope this helps, buddy. And he'll set to work.
Okay. So what kind of face do you draw onto this scarecrow?
God.
Jack-o'-lantern, squiggly silly, a little crying man.
No. Did the he'll ask Demir if we had any indication of what this person might have looked like.
What did the ledger? It was a man, right?
Just a picture of the scarecrow.
Oh, no. No idea. He just wanted to spend more time in nature.
Okay. Ah. Yeah. Let's see. What's Aaron's like default face? What's
You
the face he's been practicing? I know what the face he's been practicing most often is.
don't tell me you draw someone's face from the party on him.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Hawk.
Oh my god.
Excuse me, we
He's
need a
gonna
face with features?
It's gonna give it a little mouth. Actually, I think it's gonna end up being weirdly reminiscent of Snowhawk because it's just like a dot hawk face and then with a little mouth
And ears?
and ears.
I mean, he sculpted Snow Sun after Human Hawk, to be fair.
Yeah. Which means it's probably not as immediately obvious, at least.
So you painted the face on, um, and you can see like the mouth just kind of unzip and the eyes like weirdly hyper realistic, even for reality, just blink open. The nose just grow from the burlap sack that's its head. And it just starts fucking screaming. It's not even stopping for breath. And it just screams and screams and screams and is really loud. And the animals that are around, like the goats in the back and the chickens, are they all just kind of scatter before the curse takes hold again. The mouth zips up, and the nose retreats, and the eyes blink closed, and it just goes back to how it was before.
Well,
Balk, that seemed like it might have been an answer. I'm not gonna lie.
I am disinclined to leave him like this.
Yeah, it it's would probably be kinder to not. And then he's gonna like take a step back and kind of half turn away and say, "God damn, I hate doing that."
Well,
I'm sure they were here then.
I think we need to make another fire.
Well, I mean, I do have blight. It is a magical plant, technically.
Scarecrow isn't a plant.
Construct.
Plant that isn't a creature.
Hawk just
Well,
like
if it's a construct, if someone could cast Shatter, or we could just, take care of this mundanely.
I know someone who knows Shatter.
Do
I
you
know,
have
right?
shatter?
What's the quickest way to kill it? I feel like burning just might like take a bit, and it might
Burning
have to feel that. I don't know if it feels stuff or not.
Yeah, burning seems painful. I guess Lish could try blight. see if that works. And
I could always smite it.
or smite. Eh. However we want to put it down. Or there is firebolt instead of wasting an actual spell level.
Well, are we doing anything besides traveling today?
Mm.
Either I could launch him with catapult, at which point he would hit something and explode, or I could smite him with what I got prepped.
I feel like it would just be easier to Fairvane is right there. He's just going to cast light on it and see if that works.
I assume that's a touch attack.
Yeah, if you target a plant or magical creature, it makes a saving throw at disadvantage. If you target a non-magical plant that isn't a creature, it doesn't make a saving throw. It simply withers and dies. But it does. There is a Constitution saving throw for damage.
I can roll for the sake of it, but I
Natural 20.
got a 12.
I know.
All right. Roll damage.
32 points of necrotic damage.
How much?
32.
It's still up.
Damn.
And you can see that it just kind of withers and blackens, like mold starts like crawling across its surface, but it hasn't completely collapsed.
Okay,
This
fuck
poor
this.
thing.
A Volk draws her sword and just from top to bottom just goes shunk with a divine smite.
Roll to hit.
I figured. As long as I don't roll a what? A 1 or a 2? 4. Let's see. Sword.
Yeah, add bonuses. Still
That
probably
would
hit.
be 15.
That'll hit. Roll damage.
There you go. It's never too late.
And let's make sure we're putting this guy out of his misery. Let's go max power smite. Sorry, buddy. We're taking care of it. Okay, so a D8 for the sword and 5d8 for the smite. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Plus an additional 6 on this. Not that die. Let's see. 10, 20, 23, 29.
Yep, that'll do it. It just collapses into a pile of straw and blood on the ground.
Sorry, buddy. Well, not sure if I feel better about that one.
That was unpleasant.
This is a much better situation. And we
At
didn't have the means to
Stop
help
screaming.
otherwise.
Okay, if y'all are done ransacking the creepy tree, can we leave?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm tempted by that chest in the main hag's bedroom, but
Would you like to look at that?
before we leave, Valk will take a bit of the ashes from the fire pit that we did for getting rid of the cursed doll to just dump it once we get to wherever we're going, so the ashes are separated.
All right.
You know, just a little overkill.
Demir, were you looking at the chest in Nerafine's bedroom?
Yeah, I'm going to look at it.
Okay. So there's not too much in here. There is a small like burlap sack that when you open it, there's 4 gold bedpost knobs. There's 8 bottles of exquisite elven wine. And then there is a shriveled, almost mummified hand that looks kind of elvish in shape. And one of the fingers has a gold ring with a jade stone, which does have a magical aura.
Cool. I'm just gonna take all of those items, just trying not to touch as many of them as possible and just kind of put them in a bag.
Well,
And yeah, I'm good to go.
where do you guys teleport to?
Well, Lish can get us back to the house, so is that where we're going, or?
It's either that or to the outpost at the Doom Portal.
Are we ready for Doom Portal?
Unless if we want to do one last round of shopping.
I don't know if we'll find anything necessarily.
You're very quiet, Avery. I don't know what's going on.
Sorry. I was just saying, I don't know if we'll necessarily find anything shopping unless we're going somewhere other than Royas, but
Does anyone have any urgent needs we need to pursue?
Unless if we want to get some more blasty spell scrolls, or if we want, you know, disposable stuff like a couple more healing potions, a couple strength potions, some sort of arrow of slaying for our archer, or we could just say fuck it, good enough.
It always be nice to search around for diamonds, but I don't know, man.
yeah, diamonds would be nice, but
Let me put it this way. Do you want to cast Identify on all the things you got from the hags layer in the Turning Spire or at home?
That is also a good point.
it doesn't make a difference to me personally, but I just don't want to identify in the hag's home.
How are we getting to the Turning Spire? We need to teleport to a tree that's alive, and that's a little ways out from the actual spire itself, correct?
It's also the matter of figuring out which allies you are going to take with you.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, if we're going to be grabbing more people than the people who are already gathered there. So it kind of sounds like we should maybe head back to home and then initiate final prep before heading. Right?
Yeah.
That also, yeah, gives us more time to Like, if anyone thinks of anything over the week, we don't have to retcon that we're not at the tower.
Mm.
Plus, we don't have everyone.
True.
So I say we don't pull the trigger yet.
All right. This will open up the tree portal to the manor.
All right. So you head back to the manor.
Yeah. Unless there was a different place, but I mean, we could always go like to Avatix or somewhere else. So,
Well, we
Opaya.
could let's just go home and we can figure out our full plan.
Why don't we just take a wild cross-country vacation just in case we don't get the chance to later?
Yeah, let's go vacation.
You'll have a beach episode.
Yes.
I think we've earned a beach episode.
Let's go to the oasis.
Calm ambience. All right. So you arrive back home. I assume you cast identify on the various things.
Yep. Demir and Lish are going to divvy up the magic items and spend a lot of their spell slots casting identify.
All right, let me put things in loot. Just a moment. I'm not gonna put the books down. You can just deal with those. Fun fact, I'm sure you guys picked up on it, but the harpy was the harpy was the little girl whose soul was in the thing, and once you burned it, she turned back into herself.
That's what I thought.
And then they ate her.
Maybe not. Who knows? Maybe they just made a new doll. But you guys fulfilled your end of the bargain, and that's what matters.
Yeah. Doesn't make me feel all that much better.
I mean, at least she's not freaking dead.
Yeah, I kind of was also worrying about the accidental murder, but you know.
At least someone cares. Tobias didn't. Neither do I.
So, I have a nice little list for you guys. I shall copy and just at everyone. I would love for you guys to look it over together. I have sent it to Felix like a month ago, but they haven't gotten back to me. So, I mean, if they have an opinion, they can tell me later. But here is a list of NPCs that might be willing to assist you in your final battle. You may choose 5 of them. And for the sake of this, they will all be leveled to 20 so that they can assist. But I think it's a good time for you guys to discuss who you might want assisting you and what that should look like.
I forgot that Itri's name was that long.
You should see Damia's real name.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that I think I might have commented on that before, and that got brought up, and her full name was actually listed. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah. That's the question for Lish. Demir doesn't know it.
Soda's on the list. Let's go.
So we have the old adventuring party that we've been working with, us, and then 5 off of the list, correct?
Yes.
And from that list, it's like basically everybody that we've created some association with.
So you can see I have included their race and their classes.
She's a Fey Wanderer? That's fun. I didn't know that.
Well, I would vote personally for E3 and Aaronshire, but
Yeah, Eitri is one of our bigger wizards. Oh, and in addition to these 5s, there's the healer person that we got for making a deal with
Right.
yeah,
the
Gregor.
goddess.
No,
and
not
Gregor.
Gregor. Oh yeah, Gregor, but also the champion we were promised by the Raven Queen, true.
Oh yeah.
So we're basically
Is
building a
champion-
6-person party out of allies.
Yeah, question is I forget, is the champion an additional 6th or one of the 5?
Additional 6th.
Champion
That's why we
is
went with her.
Champion
Or
is basically to come in and cast Revivify if anyone in any of the 3 groups goes down.
Okay, so they're a contingency. We shouldn't be counting for the 5 that we pick. Got it.
No.
Okay, so do we have a primary healer amongst any of these?
It's a good question. I don't think any of these people are primarily expected to healing. We've got some supports at least. Like basically all the wizards on this list have several support spells that would help with keeping people alive.
Okay, so just looking at it, the people who have healing are... Okay, we got a ranger, but that's like a tertiary healer as opposed to a secondary healer.
Real quick, Zoda was a chronergist, not a graphiturgist.
Oh, okay, so we got a bard. Which is a secondary. We got Gregor with a paladin, has good backup healing.
Hexblade Pally, oh my god, scary.
Oh, there's a forge cleric.
There's a forge cleric. That's the only standout definitely has healing spells.
Yeah, but is also multi-class, so
yes.
That's the space queer.
Oh yeah.
Do you want me to go over who each one of these people are?
I remember most of the people on this list.
I'm good at least.
Yeah. There's a name or two that I don't recognize, but I think that's just me.
Yeah, some of it's probably late joiner. I don't think Valk was around for Nethai in particular.
That was Aaron's story arc.
So, of course, there's Varhasa, who is your archivist friend. No idea who Eitri is. Fuck that.
Honestly, it's a mystery.
Big Voklu was the goblin friend from the arena.
That I beat my face against. Yes, yes.
Esmeralda was the halfling that you guys traveled with for a little while at the very beginning, who kept being accused of murder. Alfsey is Tobias's dad, of course. Nethai the voice is the leader of one of the tribes that Aaron's people split into. Poet is Levy's cousin. Aaron Sure is uh, lead of the guard of the Winter Court.
Free Delph.
Zoda, who knows what her deal is.
I don't know.
Rosania is Hawk's old friend. Gregor is the guy you picked up in the Feywild. Peak is the little goblin that you guys made friends with that was taught to do magic by the other hag that you guys encountered.
We all got buttons from
Sniv,
her.
who the fuck knows who he is.
Oh, it's a triple multi-class, just like Mom. That's hilarious.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you got that joke. Zilzana is the captain space queer that you guys fought. Sunaval is the drow you found in the Shadowfell. And Nova, of course, is Volk's girlfriend.
I will note that Zoda's a chronergist, not a graviturgist, so she does have different features than that.
Sure.
It's all good. Just as a recap, she'd be. I think I stopped leveling her swashbuckler stuff at 3. I don't know if she'd be further than that. On that, maybe I don't know. It's like I think it's Avery's decision at the end, really. But chronergists do dice manipulation, and they can point it at someone and say lose a turn. So
Damn.
if that alters your picks at all, I figured I may as well provide that info.
Build a party solely of wizards. Do it.
Do it.
It would be such a fun conclusion to our wizard hating arc.
It would be hilarious, honestly, if we had like 4 or 5 wizards. I don't know if we even have that many on the list.
I think we do.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, we do have 5 wizards on the list.
We should also make sure that regardless of whether or not they're able to do, spells, everyone has magic-based attacks. Because I wouldn't be confident that non-magic based attacks are gonna matter.
True.
I will say I have given each of these people some magic items just so it's a little more balanced.
Okay, that's fair.
They're all level 20 and they all have some magic items.
Magic being level 20.
Okay, looking at the list, I kind of feel like Gregor and Captain Zilzana are kind of required.
True.
Since they're the 2 best healers besides potentially Nathai.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Nathai.
And then from there, it's kind of however we want to balance it.
We did didn't Avery say some Demir Avery say something about Aaron Shear and someone else?
Well, my vote would be Aaron Sure and E3, but
I mean, I do agree. I think I agree with both of you on that end.
Aaronshire and Gregor would make hella good frontliners.
Mm-hmm. And then you've got Eitri supporting and Zilzana raining lead and also potentially dropping a heal if needed. I don't know if that's something that she does, but it's a good guess.
Well, Forge Cleric has access to healing at least marginally.
That doesn't mean that she hasn't prepared, though. That's.
I think that's a conversation we can have before going in.
True.
So
if we like that, if we like those 4, then the question is who our 5th is.
Mm-hmm.
Unless someone has an objection to Eitri, Aaron Sure, Gregor, and Zilzana. Probably also get Kenzie in on this. I'm going to ping her real quick.
I already sent her.
Yeah, I'm going to ping her
okay.
with our what we're talking about here.
I think if we've got like everyone but one pinned down for like combat reasons, we could probably choose the last one for like, just
Flavor.
fun story arc ones. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So is there anyone that anyone really just wants to have there? Does anyone need to bring their emotional support dog to this fight?
Yeah, who's their emotional support NPC? I've got mine.
Totally fair. I
Uh,
feel like it'd be right for Esmeralda to come along.
Esmeralda was like pretty foundational.
Her or Varhasa.
Do love
They're both
Varhasa.
early game friends who stuck with us for a long time.
Valk is of the mindset of not bringing her emotional support NPCs,
Mm.
so she can
What, do you not
focus.
want them to die?
No, because Valk would want to be able to focus on doing what needs to be done and not worrying about getting her people out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sniv and Nova, yeah.
I would
Uh,
fully leave it up to Valk whether or not we're allowed to bring them.
True.
Mm.
Go ahead,
I do
Mackenzie.
also want to bring up the slight concern with bringing Varhasa. Varhasa does have her brother that she looks after,
True.
and if something happened to her, we don't know what'll happen to her brother.
I mean, if something happens to this fight, in theory, that's not a problem.
Nothing's a problem.
Also,
Yeah,
that would
like-
be double dipping on pure wizards.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about that too much. Wizards are very flexible.
True, but just looking at party comp.
True. On that note, I would not be heartbroken if we didn't bring Zoda, and I don't know if we need to justify bringing Rosa along either.
But yeah, so Avery, if you would be kind enough to star the four that we're kind of leaning towards as our core of the secondary group,
Sure.
just for readability.
Alright. You were leaning towards the captain,
Yep,
I
the
think-
captain,
Gregor.
Gregor, Aaronshire, and Eitri. And then ones that we had kind of was Sniv and Nova and Varhasa.
Nova.
I would
Nova.
hope actually Big Vaucluse might be a good option.
I
Because
really love the optics of Big Vaucluse. That's a
Mhm.
hilarious person to bring.
I love Big Vaucluse so much. But I'm just thinking getting because we have a range, well, we have 2 range and we have 2 that could be potential range or potential up close. We might want to have another up close fighter possible.
True. It's never a bad idea to have more front lines than anything else.
But counter argument, isn't this secondary group going to be focusing more on taking out the cat,
Oh,
which
good
can
point.
fly?
That is a good point.
Yeah, at least to me, I'm like flight is not a problem with a monk.
The
That's
ones you were maybe
that's my
on were Varhasa, Vaucluse, Esmeralda, was Offsea a maybe?
Oh, I think decided Varhasa was a no, along with Sniff and Nova.
Okay.
Yeah, I think those are.
Because you don't want to, because like Sniv and Nova, Volk doesn't want to be throwing into danger, and Varhasa does have a little brother to take care of. So I would hate for
Loves
something to
little
happen to
brother.
her.
Okay, so
Was Offsea a maybe?
yes, Opsy was
Isn't maybe, yeah.
right, Toby or Mackenzie or
Mackenzie.
however the fuck you're supposed to be called.
Both.
I don't know if I want to bring Ofsi into the. I don't know if Tobias would want Ofsi there.
Yeah,
Good point.
that's
Mhm.
fair.
In the sense of you would want him to be somewhere safe.
And also, if we were looking for, another ranged damage dealer, we literally have more disposable options, would be the kindest way I can put it.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like if Ofsi as a character, if he'd be like, no, I want to step in and do this, and if that is the case, then I guess Tobias would concede because he's not going to tell his dad what to do, but he's also going to be worried about him.
I will point out that I did make sure that Zoda had ranged spells as well, so if we're worried about range, she would be able to do that.
But yeah, also everything that Oathsea can offer can pretty much be covered by Esmeralda, because they're a Order of the Lycan ranged damage
Esmeralda is not
spike.
ranged.
Okay, so it's still a damage spiker. And then you got Sunaval, who is also a damage spiker.
God, Sunafal would be funny.
Hey, we rescued you from another plane. You're getting enlisted into this bullshit.
Hey,
Right?
dude, we gave you a lift. You want to stop the end of the world with us? I mean, I would be down for Zoda. I would be down for Big Claw Clue. I would be down for Esmeralda. I don't think we should include Peak because she is a child.
Yeah, I think Darren would
Yeah.
object to that.
Here's the thing. If you guys had actually gone back to see other hag in person, Peak was gonna be like an older lady now.
Oh,
Oh,
damn.
that's valid.
Time!
From time.
Time!
Shit, I forgot that time is a thing. Based on all of the times it hasn't been recently.
Okay, so wizard,
A wonderful wizard of
I think
fighter,
Aaron also would probably
wonderful
be
wizard of fighter.
paladin.
ultimately against bringing on Nathai. Dry really needs the stability of having a good leader around.
Fair enough.
Same token, I think it's completely up to Felix whether or not Poet is on the list.
Yeah.
True.
So basically, we're viewing it as the player that the NPC is attached to has override on no, and we're all working towards agreeing on the 5.
I think so, yeah.
I mean, Demir has opinions about her brother being there, but she's already figured out that she can't stop him, so.
And honestly, he is one of the 2 better wizards that we've associate with.
Demir has an opinion on Eitri coming along, but unfortunately, right now, Eitri does get a vote and is voting to include himself.
Unfortunately, Eitri has elected to come along.
Tobias is of the same opinion for Ofsi, where he would prefer Ofsi not come along, but if Ofsi really wants to join in on this fight, / if players really would like Ofsi to be there, I mean, granted, I fully admit, as a player, it would be cool to have Ofsi there and stuff. Tobias would just be like, "Oh God, Dad, I hope you live."
So ultimately, you guys have time to figure this out and to talk about it. I just wanted to start the conversation about who you wanted to take and whatnot. I can also give a quick rundown on the composition of of Aldrich's party, but you guys, I will note, have surpassed them in level at this point.
Yay!
Aldrich's group is called the Protectors. And obviously, they have a wizard. Excuse me, they're level 15. So Aldrich is a transmutation wizard. They have a water genasi tempest cleric. They have a human battlemaster fighter and celestial warlock. They have an undead monk, a specter monk. They have a wild magic barbarian. That's a gnome. A human eloquence bard. And a tiefling mastermind rogue. Just so that you have the more of a picture. I will also say that since you guys have completed Demir's arc, you guys level up again.
Hell yeah! I have decisions to make.
So we're getting there. What I'm sort of picturing is that you'll go through the Doom portal, deal with some of the stuff, and then essentially level up to 20 right before meeting the Indefinite.
Oh, that's sick. All right.
Yes.
And just quickly looking at the 4 that we've kind of starred, we have a couple frontliners, a support, a range support, and really only one damage spike. So some other form of damage spike would probably be what we need. So like a ranger or a rogue or a wizard.
Something to think about for sure, yeah.
You've got time to think about it. I also did homebrew a spell for Varhasa that allows her to summon Fiend specifically for her brother. But
Summon little brother. Oh my god.
So funny.
But anyway, it's about time to end session, you guys.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hopefully give you
Awesome.
some stuff to noodle on. Enjoy the level 19.
Or it's-
Getting
actually
close.
remember what I get at
Probably
this level.
start figuring out a weekend to get everyone together.
We should start thinking about it for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Well done, you guys.
All right.
Thank you so much for going along Demir's trauma journey.
We did it.
Woo!
She's
Trauma
a mildly better
journeys.
person now.
She's been going in that direction for a while, just not particularly quickly.
I know, I'm just giving her grief.
I was going to say, I don't think that she's quite crossed into the is a better person territory.
That's why I said mildly better. Slightly better. She's not wishing her brother to disappear anymore. That's an improvement.
Hey!
And she seems to have gotten over whatever her mother thinks of her, for the most part.
All right.
Anyway, thanks for playing, guys. Super fun as always, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.